know, live from Washington, D.C. That's what we just watched. Now I'm in New York City. We were watching that press conference. I think J.D. Vance is jealous. I think the president wants to use him as a running mate. They really got along fantastic. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade, lucky enough to fill in for Will Kane. You just saw it, President Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani.
Hi, I'm Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. Well, it was a love fest in the Oval Office on Friday, where New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani met with Donald Trump at the White House, and Trump was effusive, if not outwardly flirtatious with him.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't, but she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
she's a very capable person, but you really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again. And I can say again, because New York was great.
Ouch. There goes Elise Stefanik's gubernatorial bid. Woo. Then reporters asked this question, and wait for it.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist. And your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
What? I mean, the handiness, pat. But go on with yourself, Mr. President. But what underscored the insanity of this moment of Trump making nice with Mamdani, the man he's attacked over and over again, calling him a communist, I mean, basically fawning over him today, was this.
I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you. I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Condemn socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
Yes. Right on time for Mayor-elect Mamdani's visit to the White House. He, who is a self-described democratic socialist, these 86 Democrats in the House joined with Republicans. You know, the Republicans who have held our nation hostage for the last several months, cut healthcare for millions, snap by billions of dollars, and enabled a tyrant. Democrats joined hands with them to vote for a resolution to condemn the horrors, so-called horrors of socialism, led by corporate leader-in-chief Hakeem Jeffries and his right-hand woman, Minority Whip Catherine Clark. I have an idea. Why don't they condemn fascism or tyranny or the Gestapo that is running loose in American cities right now? But instead, they're making Fox News happy with headlines like this. And what is so maddening is that the majority of these fools don't even know what the F socialism is. They are just falling for the bait set by the actual fascists. And here's what Fox News has on their website. The resolution introduced by Representative Maria Salazar of Florida, a Republican, highlights a list of the economic system's failures and serves as a rebuke of political forces inching toward more socialist platforms. Among other items, it asserts that socialism has led to famine and mass murder under the Cuban Castro regime, the Chinese rule of Mao Zedong, the ongoing Venezuelan regime of Nicolás Maduro, and others. By the way, you guys, that's not socialism. That's freaking communism. That is communism/fascism. And then funny, the headline right underneath that says, socialist wave goes coast to coast as historic winds shake up the 2025 mayoral elections. Yeah, the memo is that the people want socialist policies, which are not scary or frightening. In fact, see, the communism that Castro and these other regimes like China, et cetera, are existing under is not the same thing. And we have members in Congress in two parties who don't know what the fuck they are talking about, making decisions for you, their constituents, the horrors of socialism. Like ass. Well, the resolution has no teeth. It's still a statement. Well, let me tell you, the internet reacted quickly to this nonsense. Several people, including Robert Reich, posted President Harry Truman's famous statement where he says, or maybe it's not famous enough, socialism is a scare word they've hurled at every advance that people have made. Socialism is what they called public power, social security, deposit insurance at your banks, and independent labor organizations. Socialism is their name for anything that helps all people. And when Harry Truman was referring today, he's talking about the millionaire and billionaire class, like the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Peter Thiels. He's talking about these capitalists who are stealing everything from we the people and hoarding their wealth. And they try to villainize socialism the way Fox News does and the Republicans, and here these Democrats are voting with them. I'm sorry, I'm so annoyed about this because they should know better. They should know what the hell they're voting for before they put a rubber stamp on it. The Dame 2011 writes or posts, the House symbolic vote on socialism today identified 86 representatives who need to be primaried. We need our social safety net made whole, and these corporate shills aren't getting it done. Amen to that. We won't vote for any candidate that is not progressive or for candidates who take corporate or APAC money. Also suggest putting progressives in leadership positions. Schumer and Jeffries don't represent the interests of voters. Eric Pear 101 posted, I can understand Republicans being ignorant and asinine, but can't understand why Democrats would ever pass this. Are all American lawmakers breathtakingly uneducated or simply too corrupt and too self-interested in not caring or understanding that socialism is not communism? If you believe in Obamacare, if you believe in SNAP, if you believe in human rights and progressive taxation of the most wealthy, then you believe in a socialist democracy. WTF. He's exactly right. He's exactly right. House members, House members just voted to condemn socialism. 285 to 98, that was the vote, proving that the United States has two right-wing parties. Condemning socialism before pedophilia is a choice. Absolutely. This is what they are wasting taxpayer time and money on. We've just had a government shutdown that went on for months, and these Democratic lawmakers join with the fascists. I'm infuriated, and you should be too. It is astonishing that they did this. Meanwhile, back at the White House, Mayor-elect Mamdani was busy charming I don't know if I should say this, the pants off the orange man.
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused on New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats. I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City. And I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal. Absolutely. I always said, one of the things I would love to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. You could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great. I appreciate what
Mr. President, you say you love New York.
I mean, MBS who? Trump has moved on. His latest man crush is young Zohran Mamdani. I mean, what's not to like about the guy? He's for the people. He's charming and he's got great ideas. I mean, imagine that this fascist, Donald Trump, is giving more love to Mamdani than 86 Democrats in Congress. It is despicable. It is shameful and just shows how out of touch our representatives are with the electorate. I urge you to look up and see if your representative voted for this resolution, because there's a high likelihood they did. Not all of them. Representative Maxine Waters out of California disavowed it, said it was ridiculous and embarrassing. I totally agree with her, because what these reps are doing is voting against you and for late stage capitalism and for the lobbyists paying them. And if you haven't noticed lately, capitalism is killing us. All these House members get paid when the government shuts down. They're not missing a paycheck. They all have excellent, top-notch health care. They get more in their daily food allowance than a family of 4 gets per week on SNAP. Think about that. They're just doing fine. So they're voting for the corporate interests and the capitalists who are going to line their pockets and pay them. And that's not right. They work for you. They work for us. This is just so wrong, but we don't get those benefits. Nope. SNAP has had $1 trillion cut. We know that Medicaid had $1 trillion cut. Medicare, billions. I mean, it is $500 billion to be exact. The Pentagon, by the way, has not passed a financial audit in years. We are making government contractors and corporations rich off of our hard-earned money, off of our tax dollars, so that they can build more bombs. But millions of us can't pay rent, are not paid a living wage, can't afford to buy a home, can't afford groceries, can't buy a new car. So don't fall for these capitalist lies. There is a reason that Mamdani, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and other progressives make so much sense to the rest of us, because they are listening to us. They understand the pain of the working people. They understand our needs. And not only do they talk the talk, they walk the walk. Check out and see if AOC or Bernie Sanders or other progressives have received any AIPAC or major corporate donations. Check and see through AIPAC Tracker, etc. They haven't. That's who you can tell who these people are beholden to. These 86 Democrats, they're answering to their corporate fucking donors, and it's gross. We need to vote the people out who do not have the people's interests at heart. In the meantime, it looks like this little Democratic socialist whispered shh to this piggy all the way home.
Affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And that, my friends, is a leadership skill. Good on Mr. Mamdani. All right, you guys, follow me on all my socials. Please join me on Substack. I'd really love to see you there. I hope to see you back here soon. And as always, remain fierce and...
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.